Hey everybody, welcome back to Kat's Kitchen. I'm so glad you guys are back here with me for another recipe. I'm going to insert a little bit of a B-roll from the other day whenever I started this recipe. Today what we're going to be making together is chuck steak. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that, but I explained in that short little clip that whenever we get our half a cow every year from our local farmer and our local rancher, you can give them specific cuts and different, types of cuts that you like. So basically chuck steak is a cut down chuck roast. And for Mark and I, it's a lot more, it's a lot easier for us to go through a couple of chuck steaks than it is to go through an entire chuck roast. And then if I'm having company and we need to add a little bit more, we can just pull a little bit more into it. So the chuck steaks are right about this big, like they're pretty big, and they usually put 2 in a pack for me. So it probably ends up being about, 2 of those end up being about a half of a chuck roast, which ends up being a lot easier for us to go through. Tonight we are having company, so I did 2 of those packs, so we have 4 chuck steaks in our crock pot. I showed you how I seasoned it up. I'll show you that in the next clip. But right now I'm going to give you a look at it. It's been cooking on low. I set it on low for 10 hours. I'm still gonna let it cook, but I'll show you where it's at right now. And then to top off the sides, I'm just gonna make some baked sweet potato and golden potato here. I'll just wash these. I just literally put them right in my cast iron, put them on 350 for about 45 minutes until they're nice and soft. You can poke holes if you want. I've never had any problems with explosion. That's never happened to me. I know people have, so poke holes in them if you want. And then I'm also gonna roast some carrots, and then I have some squash from the garden. And then we're gonna call it quits, and then that's it. That's an easy dinner for a busy Monday. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Alrighty, so I'm just grabbing some more coffee here because I feel like I need some more energy today. Definitely a day full of getting a lot of chores done around the house. If you guys are ever interested on how I do my chores around the house and keep up with the housework and the cooking, leave me a little comment down below, and I can maybe put a video together if I have enough interest on that. But it's nice to have a little bit of a schedule so that you don't get behind, especially if you do work and then you're also, you're a spouse, or a mother or a father, and you have other obligations, you work or whatnot. It's nice to have at least a little bit of a schedule, with your housework so that it just doesn't get left behind. Now I'm cleaning our potatoes right now with some more water and my scrub brush. I have 2 cast iron pans that I always use. The small one obviously is for the potatoes because we only have a few. And then, and I'm doing a mixture of the sweet potato and the yellow potato. I'm not sure if I mentioned, so that my guests can pick which one they want. They're all gonna get eaten, and we'll probably have a little bit of leftovers for tomorrow as well. So that'll be perfect. So next what I'm gonna do, I have those in my cast iron. I'm not gonna put those on in the oven until at least an hour before we're going to eat, which gives me another 40 minutes to prep. So within that 40 minutes, and it really won't take that long at all, I'm gonna prep our other side vegetables. So I have some carrots here that I'm going to top into. So what I did is I took all the contents, all the beef, the bones, the fat, put them in my serving bowl. I'm gonna go through this and separate everything so that we just have the meat left. And then in the meantime, what I'm gonna do is I have my fat separator here, and I'm gonna pour the liquid into my fat separator, and I'm gonna let this separate while I'm pulling apart the meat. So then this can sit for me, and then we'll make gravy out of this. And then after I make the gravy on the stove in a stock pot, and once the meat is all separated, I'll put it back in the crock pot with the lid on so that it can keep warm for us. So our beef is all separated, it's all shredded up. Next, we're gonna start on our gravy. So you can see our fat separator has done its job. We're gonna pour out the beef broth from here into our sauce pot on the stove. And then we're gonna make a slurry and add it in to this, and then that'll thicken it up for us and make it our gravy. We'll just take it right down to where the fat line is, and then we'll discard this. Okay, I'm gonna get our fire on here. We maybe only have like about maybe a good cup and a half of this, so this is where we're gonna be able to make a little bit more. I have about a cup of water here, cold water if you can. And then I'm gonna start with a quarter cup of flour. This is my gluten-free flour, my King Arthur gluten-free flour. I really like it. It's really fine, and it acts just like regular flour as far as your ingredients wise, but it doesn't seem to bother my stomach at all. So just a little tidbit for you guys there if you're looking for a really good gluten-free flour. And I get that at Sam's Club. So I'm just gonna add in flour to this gradually. You want it to kind of come up to be like a paste. And we wanna try to get all these little lumps and bumps out of here. And then we'll gradually add it into our slurry, into our broth. And then we'll cook out the flour. Just add a little bit more flour. You can also thicken it up with cornstarch if you prefer, but I know not everybody likes to use cornstarch because of the GMOs, but that is completely up to you. As you're starting to mix in your slurry, you just want to continually whisk in your whisk until very well combined so that there's no lumps. I'm gonna let this cook for a little bit and then we're gonna taste it for seasoning. So here is our chuck roast. It's just super, super flaky. It didn't want to stay together for me, but that's always a good thing. Like, look, I literally could break it apart with a spoon. And then we have our roasted carrots and our sweet potato and then our homemade gravy. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye, friends.